we are here to bring you everything and anything surrounding Porsche. I'm Mike.
I'm Aaron.
And this is P-Car Talk.
Now we're good.
All
We're
right.
recording.
Welcome to another episode of P-Car Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're at Special Location Chicago at Checked It Out Show.
Yep.
So we're actually doing something different, right? We're actually at the event, sitting in a great spot.
Yep.
And we're sitting out here. And the nice thing about it is they set us up with a good spot, right?
Yeah, they did. A little
Yeah.
bit of elevation
Yeah.
and the nice sounds of a GT3.
Something just fired up.
Yeah. We get to watch this artist paint and cars and people.
Yeah, so it was a great turnout. We want to thank Andy
Yeah.
and Adam for inviting us to the show and actually setting us up in a good spot
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
and putting all this hard work together because it's a ton of work, right?
It had to be. This is such a good show.
And for everybody that missed out there, I'm sorry for your luck. Maybe you can get in next year.
Yep.
And maybe there wasn't enough, maybe some people were like, well, I don't know. And, one of those, like, let's see how it turns out. And a lot of people, we saw a lot of messages, wish that we were there today.
Yeah.
And the messages, and like,
Yeah,
well.
they were saying they were getting the same ones too. So.
And that's not for, they had an outstanding turnout.
Oh,
Had
for
over,
sure.
over 150 cars here.
Yep.
For only being in their second year, it's pretty outstanding.
Pretty phenomenal.
It looks like everybody's having a great time. The venue is outstanding.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we have the city in the backdrop. It's downtown Chicago. How many times are you going to ever come to a Porsche event in some type of setup like this?
Yeah, if ever, this one.
Yeah, I'm blown away by it. I really am. And for everybody out there, and I'm not saying this because we're not paid to say this. It really did. We had a great time, and it's about the stories, and it's about meeting people. And we've met so many of you guys that are out there that are listening, that are at the show that we probably would have never got to meet if we didn't travel outside of our geographic comfort zone,
Yep.
so to speak. And thank you for coming up to us, everybody that did come up to us. And really is so many kind words, and we're so humble and thankful for everyone that's come up to us and said, hey, we listened to the show, we love what you guys are doing, keep the good work up. It really is, that's what really makes it tick for us when people, and not that we want to be showered with praise, but none of the people that are enjoying it, right? The real feedback when you're seeing people and they shake your hand and they're like, hey, I listen to your show, I like it. And we're so humbled by that, and we're so thankful for everybody who listens out there. And just because we haven't met you in person, we are very thankful for you out there as well. I just want to reiterate that.
It's always good to put an Instagram name and a face.
Yeah,
together.
it's pretty cool. It's one of those things where, something maybe doesn't exist, and then you meet them in person, and it becomes real.
Yeah.
So it's really
because it's kind of like an imaginary friend.
Exactly. So it's very, very cool, and thankful for everybody like that. And once again, I can't say it enough. Thanks again to the Checked It Out show and Andy and all. I know I'm not mentioning everybody by name because there was a lot of people. There's a lot of people that put in a lot of work here to make this actually come to life.
Yep.
And we want to thank all of them from the bottom of our hearts for putting stuff like this together, because without those people's hard work, stuff like this doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
This just doesn't happen off without planning, without structure,
Yeah.
without calling and facilitating, and there's so much work it goes into making something like this happen, and
Exactly.
we're so thankful for them putting in the hard work and standing something like this up to give everybody an opportunity to sit here and share stories and talk to one another. And
Yeah.
it really is just shows, again, we talk about it over and over and over again, the community, the strength behind Porsche itself, why we do these things. Next year, not to do too much of a spoiler, you guys will probably forget anyways, but we're going to try to drive up maybe next year and do like a get-together drive earlier in the week leading up to the show. So almost a add-on to what this is, not to steal the thunder, but
Just
almost to
add
add to the
compliment
thunder.
for
Yeah,
it,
to
exactly.
complement it. And the local guys are all in for that.
Yeah,
and I think
they were telling us about some good roads.
yeah, so I think that's going to be a great thing, and this thing is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And I'm so happy for the guys that up here that are doing this. On another episode, we're going to have Andy and
Adam
on, excuse me. and they're going to describe exactly what the Checked It Out show. It's in a memory of their friend Carson. I don't want to get into the details because I don't know all of them, and they can tell the story a lot better than we can. So they'll be guests on the show, and you guys can listen to them. This is more just kind of us at the show, what we saw here. That's what you're going to get in this episode. Some of the highlights, some of the cars that we saw that really kind of stood out in our minds.
Yeah, well, a lot of them too.
And you'll be able to see that, so you'll be able to actually see all the cars as well on video when Aaron puts it up there into a vlog and puts all that stuff there. So it'll be pretty good to see all that. And so you'll be able to put the pictures with basically what's happening there.
Yep.
So that'll be pretty good,
Yeah,
right?
that's more work for me, but I'll do it. I like you guys enough.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go over some of the cars that we saw here today, right?
Yep.
So let's lead off with Andy's car, the mid-year back date on his car.
Let's do it.
So what are some of the highlights that stand out to you on his car?
Obviously the blue color. So
Okay.
it wasn't always that blue color.
Yeah, it's
And-
kind of like a mix between a Maritime and an Oslo almost.
Yeah, and a little bit of arrow in there. I
Yeah.
guess all three of those. It's not quite dark. It's not quite. Yeah, that's a good in between blue.
Yeah.
That color.
Built out motor in it,
So built out motor. It's beautiful.
and then he's got tartan seats in there.
Which I mean, that's good. That's a good touch anytime. You
Yeah.
can see tartan.
Mid-year car, it's got a ducktail on it. It's
Straight
proper.
pipes.
And he told us a cool story about that car where he took it, he had it in Florida for a little while. He brought it down to DRT, and then he left it in Florida, and then he drove it up recently, and he took the Tail of the Dragon. He said it was just amazing with that car.
Yes,
Absolutely amazing.
Up to the Tail of the Dragon was a little boring for him, but he said that just that experience of the tail made the trip.
Yeah. What a spoiled brat he was on that one. But, he worked his butt off,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, so
He
where
does.
he's at in his life. It's not like he was just given a plate and he kind of went with it. But yeah, I think obviously I'm not trying to just highlight it because he, is one of the show founders,
it's
but
a really
it really
cool
is a
car.
really, really great car. And, I'm glad he was waffling around trying to sell that car, and now he obviously is
In love.
redacted that
He's in
and
love.
is taking it off from being for sale. So I think it was kind of for sale in the spring and early summer, and he kind of took it down after that and decided he was going to hang on to the car.
And it's a built 3.2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, really good car. Also highlighting the 914 at this show because clearly we're recording and it's 914. So I know you guys will be listening to this in the future, but it is 914 today while we're recording, and there are some nice 914s here today.
I would agree. I totally agree with that. I mean, obviously the yellow one sticks out because it's right in front of the Checked It Out sign. So that's one that I like for me.
Yeah.
What other ones have you liked that you've seen?
There's a white one here. It's really, really nice. It's kind of outlawed a little bit. I like that one. I want to actually talk about 914s for a second because you're not a 914 fan, are you?
And with that,
As the sigh.
and with the sigh, not really. I mean, I get behind the Targa-esque-ness, but that's about it.
Tell me why you don't
just-
like it. So
Wait,
everybody else
I'll
can
have
start
to-
sending
I'll
you
have to
the
reiterate
people that
so I
are
can get some
914 people out there can start sending you hate mail. Remember,
Yeah,
guys,
that's-
I like the 914. So
That's good. You
Aaron,
can send the hate mail to Mike at ecartalk.com.
but in all seriousness, what is it about
Not
the
just
car
body
that?
lines. I just wish it had a little bit more to it. I think you're right. Though I think if it is outlawed, I think that's where it gets a little bit more with the aggressiveness and that type of thing. It defines it a little bit more, but there needs to be more to it. Maybe that's why I like the 911 shape.
Yeah.
There's just something about it to me that's I don't know how to explain it. It's just plain. I guess that's what I would say. It's very plain and simple for the body. But outside it, I mean, I haven't.
And I think for me, that's one of the reasons why I do like it,
Yeah.
actually, because it is tidy. So I think it's one of those
Simple
things.
man.
Well, I mean, I like body lines too. Don't get me wrong, but I for me, the reason why I like it is I go back to thinking about what it is and judging it for what it is as opposed to judging
Yeah.
it against something else that it's not.
Yeah, I mean.
And so for what it is, it was made to be lightweight. It's mid-engine.
Yep.
It's got pop-up headlights, which is cool.
Yeah, that's true.
That's on my bucket list. One of the cars in my fleet at some point will have pop-up
Pop-ups.
headlights. And so it's just a matter of time until that actually happens.
You know what? And I guess I can't hate it too much because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have the cable
Yeah.
of the Boxster.
Yeah, that's true.
That engine.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of one of those things where it's the original mid-engine, right? So it
Yeah.
kind of, like you said, the predecessor, it kind of set all that stuff up.
Wouldn't
and-
have one without the other, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I think it's one of those type of deals. It's that's why I like it. I like the lightness of it. I like the ability to take the roof off. There's so many things for me that I do like about it. And I almost kind of like that you and others in the camp that you're in that don't like it makes me kind of like it.
I like it more.
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those people where we're like, oh, you don't like it?
Good, I
Good.
love it.
Because that means the less of you will drive it then.
Okay.
So
I mean, I might change my tune.
Yeah.
The other thing too is
Aaron shows up with a 914 next year.
Okay.
Mike talked me into it. I've changed my mind.
Exactly.
I'm really into
Just
it now.
Keep bashing it, and then what did you buy?
Exactly. But in all seriousness, I saw a couple Irish green cars here, it was an Irish green early car I saw.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, painted. That was pretty cool. That I liked a lot.
Well, you already started to dig on those long hoods a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had the lust for one of those. I just didn't have the price point where I wanted to get into that
figure.
price point. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm still gonna say it. You know, 996 is where the money's at, and I'm not trying to move the needle by myself and
Yeah, you don't
using
want to, actually.
and using this podcast as a
Yep.
platform to do it. Like seriously, I really hope nobody buys them.
So, are you in a green phase? Are you kind of just digging on greens? Or,
No, I don't have I don't have a color preference. I have the ones that I like and that I always like, and that's just kind of what it is. I do have a car preference at the moment, and it has nothing to do with old beard. You know who I'm talking about. But I won't announce which one that I'm digging on. But
Of course you can't. You can't.
you know what I want.
We'll announce it when it gets
for the price point and the win on that. I just think it, and especially after I put my signature touches on it, as some would say, I think that it's going to be a really good setup. It's going to be a really good complement to my 964
Oh yeah, I think it will.
to have both.
I think it'd be cool because you'll have something just a little different, a little bit more
Yeah,
creature
modern.
features.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit better AC.
So what about that? Was it GT3 RS in that green? I don't know what color green that was.
Oh, like almost kind of that metallic pearlescence.
Almost that iridescent
Yeah.
green or whatever we saw on Instagram.
I
recently.
enjoyed that car a lot. What did you think about that
I
car?
loved it. I didn't realize it was that metallic until I hit the sunlight just right, and I was it's a really interesting color.
Yeah,
the metallic made it even better for me.
Yeah, that car looked like it went through CCX for sure on that, especially
Yeah.
with the stitching inside, and
Oh, the plaid.
it was very, very trick, and it was good. And you know, the funny thing is, I think I'm an ebb and flow kind of guy. Like I like newer stuff, but not in a bad way. I always keep coming back to the older things, and I just think that's just who I am at the core of what I do. So I really dig on all the air cooleds that are here, and I just kind of
keeps giving them a life instead of kind of putting it away. It gets more extended use.
I think there's just more effect, right? When you have something it's just older, just maybe even if it's just age on it, even if it doesn't stand out that much, the fact that it's hasn't been whatever. You can pick a mid-year car that was here. There's a really nice yellow one that's got Papilla interior like inserts in it, and it's a mid-year car. And for a long time, those cars were unloved. I thought that car was really awesome. It looked like it was a yellow. I forget what yellow that was. It wasn't Signal or any of those kind of crazy ones. It was almost kind of like a pale yellow. So.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, the point of that is, I see that and I see a newer GT3. Circling back, I'm going to make the point with that GT3, and I know what that GT3 is capable of because we've driven them and they look good and stuff like that. And I think I'd rather have the older car.
And and something for you, I know you like being. Not only is it just more engaging a lot of times, the older car, even, but I think it's getting every ounce of it. You're going and pegging all the way out to.
I just feel like it has more personality. I'm kind of a personality kind of guy. If you haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, and you can open that personality all the way up.
Yeah.
Without killing yourself.
Exactly. Like you can maximize your driving experience. You can, and it just, I guess it's hard to describe because it's the entire feel, right? It's the entire small cabin effect. It's the entire smell of a car.
Size, good smells.
It's
clanks.
Yeah, I mean, and it's almost kind of, it just has more presence, I think, than a GT3 for me. Not that I'm picking on GT3s. I'm just like that car. I'm just saying that because of the one you brought up in general. Like it was a beautiful car. I'm not trying to dog it at all. I'm not saying I wouldn't want that car, but I'm just comparing it to an old air cooled. I mean, they're totally different animals, but I just feel that there's more presence with the other car. So I just think there's that. And then there was quite a few 996 GT3s here today.
A lot. A lot.
And maybe this is where they're living in Chicago area.
They've all
because
come
we
home.
don't see a lot of them where we're at.
No, that's true. Now that you mention it, there were quite a few. The red one I like the most. I'm starting to like Guards Red and Turbos and
Very good point.
yeah. So I'm a fan of that. Is there any GT3 colors you saw here today that you liked, or specs
That stood out or
Yeah.
anything like that? Nothing crazy, actually. You know, it was nice to see the 996 GT3s we saw. Like as mentioned, they were Guards Red cars. I think all of them, right? I think there were 3, and were they all Guards Red?
They might have been. Maybe that's why it's on my mind for Guards Red. But yeah.
So I know Sean over in the UK is probably loving that. So because he's a big Guards Red fan. But they were gorgeous. One of them was, had a half cage, probably set up exactly the way I'd probably have it set up. It was lowered on coilovers. It looked pretty tough. And I think at the end of the day, I don't want to call it a dream car because it's not too far out of like reach, but I'd like to have one of those in my garage, I believe. I think that would be that would be my GT3 that I would own. I think, I know I've said 997.2, but I think that would actually be the GT3 I'd like to own.
That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe not that color, but like something to that effect.
Yeah. I know where you're going. But
you know what I'm saying. So, all right. So moving on, a big cornerstone of this show was Olson's collection. Yeah, the custom built cars. I guess he's a really big builder in this area, and he does fantastic work. We spent an immense amount of time over there. Basically inspecting his cars and just going through the craftsmanship and all the work and all the stuff that they've put in on those cars, and how incredible are some of those cars that he built.
I mean, he'd probably give Porsche Sport Classic a run for their money.
Yeah.
As far as how clean, it's just everything, all the little detail work, and that's where you're going to shine in his business.
Yeah.
Is making those little things happen. Like, wait a minute, that's not factory, or intentionally making it stick out.
Yeah.
But be cool because it's still derived from something within the brand.
And additional to that, so we'll run down each car that kind of stood out in our mind. So there was a 1973 911, had a 3.4 liter motor built out in it. The air cleaner box in the thing, though, it had the like almost a bridge style,
very Singer-esque.
Yeah, bridge style.
But it looked good.
Exactly, but it was his own rendering.
Yep, his own thing.
And it was Smyrna green, which is a 356 color, which looked beautiful on this car. It had big RSR fender, so it was an RSR tribute car, but it also had the RSR like motor essentially to go with it, because there's so many people who build these cars and then they just leave the 2.7 in it, or whatever they end up, whatever car they end up retroing back, if it's just a 3.2 or whatever they are, or a 3 liter, they usually leave that in the car and they don't really do anything with the motor.
100%.
So this was fully done. It was motor, everything, all of that stuff was done. So that was outstanding. And to see that car, I would have given your left leg for that car.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
I'd be willing to donate it for you.
Yeah, we would have amputated.
Right here.
No anesthesia, just hatchet and go for it. I mean, I would have felt really bad for you. I would have at least got you a tourniquet, but whatever.
Yeah.
You get the point.
You're just a good friend.
Yeah, you get the point. Anyways, another car that they ended up bringing with one of their builds was a 1990 C2 964. It was finished in fashion gray.
Fashion gray, yeah. That's a really cool car.
That was very clean build on that car.
just his level of every car that he brought. But the fashion gray was a good touch. I don't think I've seen that on a
Yeah,
164.
me neither. But it looked amazing. Like it was very, 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 very good looking car. And he also finished the wheels with like a dimpled bronze
Yep.
coating,
Good.
which looked incredible.
Yep, and those are E88s.
Yeah, and I can't remember or recall ever seeing that kind of finish before on a car, but it looked so good.
It
and,
did.
And then it had yellow tinted headlights, which were outstanding.
I mean,
It
it's
just
so
it,
track.
yeah, it had a ducktail on it. It just JRZ suspension, you name it. There was nothing not done properly on that car.
Yeah, and
nice
then-
Recaros in it. The super expensive
Yeah, it
ones.
has the Recaro C Sportster CSs
Yeah. So they were amazing.
and with the Alcantara centers.
And then they were building, they had it on a chassis roller. They had a 1990 C2 964 in a midnight purple.
That's a
With a-
fantastic color.
Yeah. And a brushed nickel finish on all of like the window trimmings. It's a backdate car. They're backdating.
Yep.
See ya, Rudy. My man Rudy, he was
Yep.
here. We were hanging out with him today. It's good to see him. But yeah, it was a brushed nickel finish, which we haven't seen.
Yeah, nobody's doing a contrast like that.
And I know other people have done like Singer does a Cerakoting like type of like nickel style finish like
Yeah.
on their stuff, and it kind of has that effect. And it just is really trick. It looks really good. And then this was a backdate car, so it was going through the phases of backdate already. Like it already had all the facelift stuff done. And again, that midnight purple, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it was hard to describe. You'll see it in the
Well,
video.
yeah,
If you go to the
nobody-
YouTube
yeah.
video, it's unreal of how great it looks. It pops so good in the
Yep.
sun. It's dark, but then in certain angles it lightens up, and there's just so much metallic in it. It's just gorgeous.
I
It
would
was
say it's heavy on the purple, but the blue still comes out well.
gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous car. Yeah, let's mention some of the people that were here today too.
Yep.
While we're at it, because Rudy reminded me. So Rudy, Mr. 993, he was here, blessed us with his presence. Yeah, always a good guy, always a good character to talk to. He's always, has his pulse on the market of what's happening, what's changing. It was good to have a conversation with him. Drew from Cool Collective was here. Spent a lot of time with him. Rob from the 964 page was here as well. Who else am I missing?
I think that's pretty much. I mean, that's the people we keep.
Keith
running into.
from
Keith, yeah,
What the
from,
Fook.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hung out. We went heavy last night, drinking and hitting up Chicago, since he's a local guy who's showing us all the spots, and
Yeah.
we thank him. I think for that, because
I-
we went hard. But I mean, I don't feel terrible, like
No.
as bad as he felt about it today. But
No.
that was fun. All right, so moving on back to the cars. What else did we see in there that we saw? Oh, we forgot to mention, P-Car Market was here
Yeah,
representing
James.
with some of their cars. That was cool.
We had a long
They
time
had a
with the market.
PTS GT3 that they had over there.
Yeah, that was
And then
pretty
they had a bad boy car, the 3.6.
sick. Yep, as always, you always
A
need one
real
of those.
bad boy?
You
Yeah.
need one of those every show.
Yeah, the real bad boy, they had one. That was great. Just a lot of really great cars. Saw a couple, saw a 993 Turbo in that midnight metallic blue.
Yep.
And then there was a 964. This one wasn't a bad boy car, but it was still a 964 Turbo. Also finished in the midnight blue metallic. So that car looks really great in the sun. And then in certain shades, there's some purple hues in that
Yep.
in that paint as well. I think we're on a kind of a purple kick right now, aren't we?
We may be.
I think we just like stuff that are different.
We just like to see something different, and that's the great thing about this show. At least I think there's nothing that's really the same here. Everything has their own little touches. There's nothing. I don't think I've really seen too many stock cars here. It seems like everybody's individualized there and their own little touches.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I think that's one of the main reasons why a show like this really appeals to somebody like us. And I think most of the listeners out there, because we are those kind of people that like to tinker with a car. They like to make it their own. And there's a myriad of beautiful cars that weren't mentioned, and I'm not going to try to
We just
go
don't
through
have
every
time.
single one of them. But please watch the YouTube video. You'll see all of the stuff. Aaron took a ton of footage.
Yeah, I did.
So we're going to try to play most of
Speaking
it
of
for you. Yeah,
996.
996 guards red
with the arrow back.
going by. So, but yeah, there was some great cars here. Oh yeah, Chris from Overcrest was here. That's great. So this is great that we're sitting out here because people
Yeah,
are driving by and we're thinking, like, Chris Cool from Overcrest. He's also like, look out for that show. He's a guest on our show. We spent some time with him last night. He's a good friend of the show. Love his car.
Great stories.
His long hood car is freaking amazing,
That blue.
and he just beats it down, which I love, and he uses it, and it's just great. But it was circling back to what you just said though, as far as like the cars that were here, the demographic of differences. I loved how they stage everything as well,
Yep.
where they didn't try to, okay,
All the 996s. here.
yeah,
All
not that
the
that's a
996s,
problem.
yeah.
Obviously we've been to shows where people do that.
Yep.
And for cohesiveness, that also makes sense too. I'm not saying one's right or like more right than the
Yep.
other. It's just different.
Yeah, it's just, but I think it's,
Yeah, there's not a right or wrong way to do it. One's just different.
Yep, and I think the difference makes you explore a little bit more.
Exactly. It almost kind of makes you want to go, like, say, it almost forces you, I would say, like, the one positive of it,
Yep.
right? The one positive is, obviously, this is still not a secret. A lot of people still don't like 996s. So if you have a bunch of 996s together,
Just skip the group.
people are just not even going to maybe go buy it. Or if you lump them in with, like, just water-cooled stuff, and people are just not going to go buy it. Or they just want to see the air-cooled stuff.
I agree, but it really makes you, with the mix-up, it makes you pay attention to details.
Yeah, I
Because
totally...
it's in your face. You're not going to go, oh, this looks alike in your mind, and then pass it up like you said, no matter what it is.
Yeah, you're not going to sit there and say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I only want to see air-cooled stuff, or you're going to walk the entire show because you're going to want to know what's around the corner. You want to know what's on the other side of the building. You want to know what's out front. So you're going to go and hit everything up, which I kind of like the way they did that. And I don't know if that was with intent or they just kind of, hey.
We got a ton of cars. We got to park them. Let's get them in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could have just been that, but it ended up turning out really well.
I feel like there was a pretty good amount of intention for how everything was laid out. But
Yeah, I think they probably knew where they wanted to put things for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But, needless to say, another car kind of stood out in my mind. There was a really early 964 on the other side of the building,
Okay.
a white one. And it had the pinstripe
the
insert.
velour
yeah,
seats.
velour inserts.
Yep.
I just like that look. It looks so cool. Those
I don't know that I've
pinstripe
ever
seats are
seen
like
that.
so awesome.
I don't know that I've ever seen that in a 964.
I haven't.
I mean-
and Rob is a 964 expert.
Yeah,
and we did a walk around with him, and he's like, I've never seen those before. And I asked the guy about it, and he said it only was available because it was such an early car, so it kind of carried over from the G body. So that's why he was saying that was available. So I thought that was super interesting. That was a cool fun fact, Easter egg. There's another car here. It has that, a G body car. It just looks really cool.
And there was a different color.
Yeah,
insert
and not
too.
that Pasha's not cool, not that any Tartan's not cool. It's all like I just like a different.
Mike likes
interior.
being different.
No, he's not me personally. I just like to see different
Yep.
things.
Don't want to get bored, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to see a plain silver car with a black interior. That's not fun.
That's true.
You have opportunity to dress it up. Do something fun with it.
Yep.
That's all I'm trying to say with that. Not that there's anything wrong with stock things. If you can infuse fun, why not have fun, right?
Yep, I guess that's true.
Have fun. That's what this is for. All of this, what we're doing right
fun.
now on this, the get-togethers, the cars, the driving, it's for fun. Have fun.
100%.
Don't be afraid, of what people may think of you. Oh, well, they're going to think I'm trying to be flashy, or this is going to stand out. It's going to look awkward. This is going to be weird, or who cares? If you like it, do it.
Yep.
But yeah, anyways, great show. Great event last night so they had a VIP event last night where we attended.
That was pretty awesome.
They had some special guests speak.
Yep.
We were able to ascertain some of them and have them as guests as well.
Definitely worked out in our
So
favor.
it really worked out well, and we appreciate them for letting us take some of their time. And you will hear some of those guests. We have Ray Schaefer that will be on, and we also have Chris Cool that will be on. Those will be 2 separate episodes, but they'll be paired with a little bit of info and rumors on the front half. So that'll be a dynamic episodes for you guys coming up. Just kind of want to tip you guys off on what's going with that. We're also going to have the show kind of, I guess the best way to call them is, the kingpins that kind of figured this thing out to put it all together. We'll have them on the show too as a kind of a wrap up and what they saw and what exactly they thought of the show and what their
How-
success level was and
stressed they
how
were.
all that went. So that'll be also another show that we'll be a part of and we'll be on, and I think it'll also, you'll hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, and it's a different perspective and from their level for sure.
So you'll get to hear all the inner workings, and I'm sure some cool stories will come from that, as well as it wasn't all. We'll try to see if we can get all the sunshine and lollipops out of there and get you guys some of the juicy stuff of kind of like what happened there, and maybe some of the stuff you never got to see that came to
Exactly.
fruition that they wanted to do but maybe do later.
We had
and
this plan, but
it didn't really work
next year.
out and what have you. But yeah, needless to say, we just kind of wanted to broadcast here while we're here. It was a good opportunity to be here. We were super excited. We're super thankful. The Chicagoans are very in
friendly
this
guy.
very friendly town, very friendly people. We love you all, you guys, so much. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for engaging with us. Thank you guys for hosting this event in such a great city, such a great venue.
Yeah.
What a great place. And if you,
It's
like I
so
said, if you
eclectic.
guys missed out, you really did miss out. But it's not too late. They will be doing this again next year.
Yep, it's gonna be
So
bigger and better. And
make sure
everywhere.
you're there and you're not one of those people that said, "Well, I really wish I would have went." Well, do it. Be a doer.
Just do it. Yep.
Stop talking about it. Be about it. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll close up here. I know it's not really a long episode, but we just want to kind of broadcast here and thank everybody. Let's thank them one more time. It was
Yeah.
such a great venue, and I know tons and tons and tons of work went into this, and we're so thankful that they actually did that stuff and put this together and giving us opportunity and giving you guys an opportunity to receive content, because
Yeah.
none of this, all of this stuff that's going to come from this, like Drew's going to make some great content from it. We're going to make some great content from it. PCNA was here. They're going to make some great content from it.
Heavy.
So essentially, like, he produced a forum where people can get together, have a conversation, hang out, see some great cars, have some great relationships building, and some great content put out there in the world for everybody to see what great things are here in Chicago and some of the great things that is going on in this area.
It's really a cool place.
And not that it's not a secret. Chicago's a big city,
Yeah.
but like in this particular area, there's a lot of growth in the Fulton Market area. It's becoming gentrified, and it's very, very urban, but it's very, very awesome too. There's a lot of great restaurants. There's a lot of just great people. Everything is walking distance. It's a really, really great setup, and I'm really excited for the future of these guys, and I'm so excited that we got to share their second one. I really wish you could have came to the first one just to see
Yeah,
the growth
see the
development.
difference, yeah.
But nevertheless, I know there's going to be a drastic change next year as far as the growth. Nothing's going to change that in the sense of like the show itself. But I just know that we saw probably 150 cars here. I would not be
Easily.
surprised if they have 300 cars next year.
Yeah.
Easily. They'll double. And they'll probably have to add more staff, and it'll just be bigger and bigger. And I'm sure we'll probably not even get to talk to Andy because he'll be so busy.
Yeah, we barely got to talk to him today.
So we're going to go on a quick break. We're going to come back, and then we're going to close out the show, talk about some of the stuff we did in Chicago while we were here. So we'll see you guys in a minute.
All right, see ya.
Thank you guys listening to PCAR Talk so much. We appreciate you guys so much. I can't say that enough. Please go to pcartalk.com and check that out. We have a virtual membership on there. We are on there on Tuesdays meeting with you guys. Become a virtual member. We would solely appreciate that so much. Also check us out on YouTube. We release videos on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Help support the channel. Everything we're doing is trying to bring the community closer together. We definitely appreciate that. Also, when you go onto YouTube, if you could subscribe, maybe pass it along, make a comment, we really appreciate that. Again, circling back to pcartalk.com, there is a newsletter created on there. Please put your information in there. That way we can keep you up to date on anything that's coming forward and anything that we're going to be doing moving forward and all the exciting things that are coming out. And again, the virtual membership is on pcartalk.com. Now back to the show. All right, guys, we're back from break. So let's close out a little bit. Let's thank some people and let's talk about what we've been doing for the last couple of days,
Just
right?
a few things, huh?
So we want to thank Midwest Performance Cars so much. Andy's such a good guy. Helped us out a lot. Got our stage set up. Same with Adam. The entire crew at Checked It Out Chicago. We don't know all of them by name, so we don't want to leave people out because there was tons of people helping out. They had a ton of volunteers helping out. It's an army to like make this happen, isn't that right?
Oh, for sure. That was such a unexpected large show of. I mean, I didn't imagine that many people were going to turn out. I mean, as good. I knew it was going to be good, but
I expected it, but I just know how much work goes into that kind of stuff, and I think kudos to them. We can't say thank you enough to them. They've been so accommodating to us, which is nice. And what a great city and overall. Set some fun times when we went out.
Yeah.
Also, cool that PCNA brought some crew of people. Ray Schaefer came and hung out. Cool Collective, Drew, Keith from
WeatherTech.
WeatherTech. Well, I don't know if he wants to, be labeled with that. I think it's more of kind of what the fook for him.
Yeah.
Rob from the 964 page, even though we hate his guts. Just kidding.
Never going back to London.
Just a whole group of people. A great Florida crew that came up. Mel, Brandon, Joe, his wife, Barb, it came up. Just, we travel well together, and it's great that we have people coming from all different locations. There's people came from surrounding states all over, Indiana, Wisconsin, everywhere that you can think of, came to that. Just thank you to everybody who participated, who came to the show. You were the guys who end up making this thing run, all the participants, right?
Yep. It's cool to see some familiar faces when we go places, too.
Exactly. I think at the end of the day, even all the hard work it's put in, it's about the people. And I think they have a great ethos behind it, which is outstanding. Similar to other shows that are being created, I won't name them by name, but you guys get the picture.
Limited number, you can figure it out.
The cars are there, or the vessel to bring the people together, to have conversations, to meet these people, to share stories, to share going out at night and having fun stories to talk about afterwards. And the cars are kind of the second part of it, right? It's
Exactly,
the people
very
first.
second.
And it's super cliche to say that, but either way, it doesn't really matter because it's the truth. It's true.
Thanks.
If it's the truth, it's the truth. And so many great people sponsored this event, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Super excited to see where it goes. So some of the stuff we did, we landed pretty early in the morning on Friday,
Even
correct?
with all the delays, yeah.
Which was pretty wild. O'Hare is a nightmare of a place, I guess, as far as we've been told for flying in and flying out with
Everybody's
delays.
correct about that.
So note to self, maybe just drive up from Florida next time and take the fun roads, and maybe we'll bring an army of people with us who want to make the trip, and we'll just start road tripping this thing and caravanning places.
Yep.
But yeah, we went hard Friday night. Saw the town, went to a speakeasy, closed the place down. So we were up at 3 a.m. Eastern time to fly out essentially for Friday. So we went essentially 24 hours straight, we normally do.
Yeah.
We usually do that. We have a bad habit of doing that. We go
We were
24 hours. We did that in Cali. We did that in Cali
Yeah,
also.
we get there early, right before things set up, and we got there right on time.
Yeah. And then we went out and drank like crazy, not irresponsibly. We Ubered around, so that was fun. Some of the locals showed us, some of the guys that were at the VIP event. They hung out with us, which was nice. Keith and Steve, big shout out to you guys for showing us a great time in the city and taking us to the speakeasy. We would have never known any of these places to go.
Not at all. Because you walk in and you think, well, we're here, and it's kind of loud. And then you're down flights and flights of stairs, and then...
Yeah, big up to Steve, too. What a gracious host, and he fronted the bill, which was probably immense because we were drinking $20 bourbons, and
I was doing some
we were drinking a lot of them. So thank you so much, Steve. I know that was very, very kind of you, and I just wanted to give you a public acknowledgement of that, and thank you so much for doing that. That was very kind. What a great guy. And Chicagoans as a whole, even just that we're away from the event, the people we met that evening and places that we went, everybody was pretty open to everything. So this is only the second time I've ever been to Chicago. First time for you, right?
First time for me.
What a fun city, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, who would think you would pair burgers and heavy metal
together
as a
that was pretty funny. Went to this this bar called Kuma's to wrap up on Saturday. That was fun. That was a good burger and expensive burger, apparently.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I got
Aaron had some
pineapple juice.
Yeah, Aaron had the pineapple juice CBD oil. So, but needless to say, what a great town. What a great venue. What a great backdrop. I highly, highly encourage you guys, if you haven't been, you definitely need to go to Chicago to visit. But if you haven't been, maybe save it for next year. Come to see some Porsches and come to the city. Make a week of it, even. Not just a weekend. Come in on a Wednesday. Maybe go to a baseball game. Maybe go to a football game. whatever, see the city, see the sights. There's tons and tons of stuff to see. Then see the Porsches, hang out with everybody in the community, hang out with them, get to know everybody, come see us, come see all the people that we've already mentioned. It's just great to continue to build strength in different areas with everyone, and it's great to all the new people that we met and everyone who came up to us at the show.
Thanks for coming up to us.
That was super cool, and we encourage engagement. If you're out there listening and you know we're going to be somewhere where you like to tell everybody where we're going, please come up to us and talk to us. You know, we always give out free swag. You can talk to all the people that we did talk to. But we're not one of those people who just walks around the show and hands you random stuff. So
No,
if you come up and have a conversation, we're going to hand you some stuff probably. So more than likely. So just keep that in mind in the future. If you ever want to link up with us somewhere, we got at least some decals or something we can give you. And you know, we appreciate everybody who is listening, and it's just so refreshing to come to such a great place in a different location that we're not familiar with and feel that you fit in.
Yeah, it feels a little bit at home every time we go somewhere like that.
Yeah, and we keep preaching it, but it is a real brotherhood, a real sisterhood. People get together. People do so many things for each other, you know, regardless if something, your car is broken, you need accommodations for where you stay. Everybody's so helpful, and it just feeds the fuel to the fire of how the Porsche community really does love each other so much. So... And kudos one more time to the team out there as far as all the hard work at the Checked It Out show. Every single one of you guys have put in the countless hours, all the board meetings that you guys had, all the strings you had to pull to get the city to clear a block out and block it off for you. You know, all the accommodations that you guys got together, the sponsorship you put together, the VIP event you put together, it definitely takes an army to do that, and we know that, and we want to acknowledge that publicly, and we want to give you another shout out and thank you guys so much. But definitely make sure you check it out next year. Checked it out. It's kind of funny, but coming up on a future episodes, we have Andy and Adam that were directly involved in the event. They're going to tell you the history behind it as guests. They're going to tell you more about Midwest performance cars. They're going to talk about all the people that were involved. So that's why we kind of held back a little bit, because they tell the story better than we do. So they're going to be your guests on the following week's show. And then after that, we're going to have Ray Schaefer on as a guest. And then after that, we're going to have Chris Cool on from Overcrest as a guest. So stay tuned, guys. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. And make sure you spread the word in the Porsche community. We appreciate every single one of you guys out there so much. We love you guys so much. Thank you. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see ya. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of PCAR Talk. Connect with us on Instagram at PCAR Talk or online at PCARTalk.com.